Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbachelor.com, out here for another gear review, and today talking about this guy right here, which is the TDP, Technical Picnic Blanket by Prometheus Design Works. So what is it? Well, it is a picnic blanket with some technical features built into it. And yeah, I mean, kind of think of it as a blanket that you can obviously use for picnics too. So I will go over some of those features right now. There are two sides to it. This one right here is made out of a high tenacity N66 silicone impregnated PU coated 30D nylon ripstop. What does all of that stuff mean? I don't know. Basically, it is this nylon ripstop and it is treated, so it's not fully waterproof, but definitely really water resistant. And then the other side of it, right here, we have the soft side. This is a Polartec 100 micro polyester fleece, really nice and cozy. And then around it, we have 6 of these guys right here, staking or lashing points that are made out of basically a 3mm nylon, like 550 cord essentially. And yeah, that is basically it. 2 sides and lashing points. And this whole thing measures basically 54 by 84 with the 3 lashing points on each of the long sides and then 2 on the shorter side here. So as I mentioned, it is a blanket. And so you have this soft fleece side and then you have this really weather resistant outer side. So you can use it for a number of things. As named, it is a technical picnic blanket. I have actually used this for a picnic in, well, outside of, I guess, Nome, Alaska, of all places. And I brought it with me. I was like, maybe I'll need this. I was up there for like a week, summer or 2 ago, and it worked great. Basically threw it out on this like sandbar beach. Fortunately, no brown bears came, and yeah, had an awesome picnic. And since then, I've used it as a number of other places. Oftentimes, because of the fact that it actually has this weather-resistant side and a soft side, so you can actually sit on something nice, I will throw it down when, like I don't want to be sitting on whatever the surface is. By way of example, snow. I was out hunting with a couple friends of mine, and well, at the time we were largely glassing, so of course it was snowing. We're not expecting snow, but I had this with us and went ahead, stretched it out. All 3 of us could sit comfortably, sit there in glass, have a little lunch. So I guess we did have another picnic there. And yeah, kept us dry and warm, not sitting on snow and wetting out layers. Again, really handy. The other thing I will do is, again, pretty warm. Oh yeah, should probably mention that. Not flame resistant. Neither side I'm sure is, but definitely not this fleece side. At one point, had it around a campfire, ember got on it, melted through it. So that's real. The other place actually most recently used this is when I have to go shoot some groups in the prone. And while the range does have a covered section, who cares if it leaks, which it did. So the concrete's all wet and just cold. And cold, okay, but what I don't want to do is continue to lay down and get wet, soak all the layers. So basically threw this guy out, again, weather resistant side down, soft side up, and yeah, shot groups over the course of, I don't know, a good hour or so, and stayed nice and dry. And because of the way this is made, again with the loops, 3 of them on each of the long sides, you can actually fold this thing in half, and if you wanted to, you can basically run some paracord or just tie these together and turn it into almost kind of like a little bivy sack. This ultimately kind of serving both roles of a poncho as well as poncho liner. I will say, like, yeah, it will work just like a poncho and poncho liner, 100% a compromise. Like, I'd probably rather have a sleeping bag. This would do well in a pinch if you got stuck and this is all you had, or if honestly it just didn't get very cold at night, because yeah, you're going to lose a lot of heat. Like, you can't zip this thing up or anything like that, but yeah, it'll definitely serve in a pinch. And along the lines of serving in a pinch, for whatever reason, my heater in my $500 minivan is kind of temperamental sometimes. And so honestly, all year, unless I'm actively using this, like taking it somewhere for some adventure, this basically just rides in the back of my vehicle. And it serves as an emergency layer should someone get cold, which can happen because we'll be driving around and my boys are like, oh, that's weird. Like I wore shorts, but it's snowing outside and now we're stopped somewhere. They're like, cool, pull the blanket out. Like, stay warm, boys. And yeah, gets used that way as well. Other things worth mentioning, it comes with a stuff sack. When it's stuffed in here, approximately about 6.5 inches by about 11 inches. Weight-wise, you're looking at about 1.5 pounds. What is kind of the closest analog to this thing? Like I said, probably like poncho and poncho liner. This, of course, incorporates both of them, which is pretty handy. Now you're just carrying one thing rather than two. And you can largely use it kind of the way you would use those other items. Analog to it also, I don't know, maybe Kifaru, however you pronounce it. Pretty sure it's not phonetic. Well, I actually do really like that. It is decidedly not waterproof. I will say definitely warmer than this, but again, everything's a compromise at the end of the day. This gives you a really weather resistant layer as well as that warming layer, whereas the Whoopee, it's just for warming. Made here in California, and like a lot of things, Prometheus Design Works, they will batch them out. So this got made and pretty sure it's sold out right now. Don't know when they'll do another batch of them. They did make a couple variations of this. This one, of course, being that polar fleece. They also made one that was wool backed. They might have had another one. I don't remember the material. Between the two, I would definitely go this route. Like, wool has its place. One of its places, honestly, for a lot of things is kind of nostalgia. Like, depending on application, there are some better materials out there. And for this application, I think that Polartec is probably better. That said, probably wouldn't have melted the hole in it like happened with the Polartec, but 6 one way, half dozen the other. There'll be links down below if you want to go check them out, and yeah, hopefully they will come back in stock. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.